routers and things like that are. So there's a quick look at Cisco, a $100 billion company. How about this company, Taiwan Semiconductor? Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC. Taiwan Semi. They do have a US ADR, TSM. They do have a US ADR. Might be easier for us to follow the ADR. What do you guys think? Let's see if they file. Let's see if they file. TSM. It's in sponsored ADR, so they have to file 6Ks. We know that. They report monthly revenue. That's kind of neat. Let's see what else. Oops, wrong file. This is kind of their 10K, it looks like, for these are in Taiwan dollars. What the heck is a Taiwan dollar? $32? The new Taiwan dollar? 32 ratio? So let's see if we can do the ADR. TSM, 25.35 shares. I usually only like to do the local shares, but in this case, just not confuse you guys, let's save it as the ADR. I wonder how many shares the ADR is. Let's actually see. We can look it up, right? It says here in the bottom, one receipt is five ADRs. So when you buy one share of TSM, you get 5 shares of 2330 TT, which is that's the Taiwan stock. There's 25 billion shares of the Taiwan stock. So we have to divide that shares outstanding by 5. And we get the market cap, which corresponds roughly to 130 billion. Fine. How about cash? Well, we have it in Taiwan dollars, and it's super hard to read, so I'll just do it here. Cash in Taiwan dollars. We'll convert this to net cash Taiwan dollars, and convert to net cash US dollars. And the US dollar is just the Taiwan divided by 32, which I think is the exchange rate. So how many Taiwanese dollars they have? 562, 688. Oh. That's really it. How about debt? Not much. 191. 965, 39. Sometimes these foreign companies are often more misvalued than their US counterparts. So it looks like they have 10 billion in cash, roughly. So the American analysts don't want to bother with the foreign companies. They're pretty lazy. That's where a lot of the money is made in these foreign stocks that the Americans don't want to trade because they don't want to do these currency conversions, and it's just a pain in the neck. But I don't mind the extra work. It's interesting to learn about these foreign companies, right? So you can see they're actually a little bigger than Cisco on an enterprise value basis, but not much. And what does Taiwan Semiconductor do? They're very interesting. They are a so-called foundry. So they make semiconductors for other people. My understanding of what they do, I may be wrong. Just want to make sure I got all this right. I think so. Cool. And here's Here's the revenue, is a little easier to read. You can see their gross margins are about 50%. Their operating margins are pretty high too, about 40%. They do almost no research and development. I think their customers know who they are, so they don't even have to do any marketing. They're the biggest outsourced semiconductor company in the world. Pay 10% taxes, good deal. They're probably Taiwan's biggest company. So, and unlike Intel, the revenue is actually growing. You can see that's what, 10% growth roughly? Maybe even a little more than that. That's a pretty interesting company. Net income of 300 billion Taiwanese dollars is about 10 billion US dollars, right? 10 billion US dollars. So 11 times earnings. Revenue growth was quite strong. 843 divided by 6. So 10% revenue growth. About 50% margins, 40% operating margins. Getting a little lazy here because we have 15 more minutes to go. SAP is an Oracle competitor. I want to show you as many companies as I can before time runs out. SAP also has an ADR. SAP also has an ADR that maybe we'll use instead of the local German stock. Qualcomm, nobody's really sure if Qualcomm's a semiconductor company, an IP company, a phone company, what exactly they are. We'll talk about that someday. For now, I guess we can say that they're a semiconductor company. How about KDDI? What do these guys do? They're a carrier. So we're going to move them to the carrier section. How about SoftBank? $9984 is their ticker. SoftBank do. DSL, that's funny. They're pretty diverse, I think, internet business. Baidu has an ADR. BIDU, it's a search, more or less a search engine. Broadcom, sort of a Cisco competitor, I think. A little bit different stuff, but not too far. And you can see Broadcom's 30 billion, so you really are getting low in market cap. I guess why does Broadcom change did Broadcom change their ticker? That's why. Broadcom is now AVGO. That's why. A little bit different. EMC. Salesforce.com, Adobe, down to $40 billion when you get to Adobe.